Unskilled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unskilled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. You're listening to the best darn travel show in the world, right? If I say so myself. As always, my co-explorer, fellow traveler, my wife, Amy Long.
Hello.
Man, we are fulfilling our, promise, to you to bring the very best at haunted tourism and dark tourism over the past few episodes. And it concludes with this episode today, and we got a good one. We have a really good one for you.
It's so good.
You're going to want to stick around because we're going to talk to the wonderful people at the Lizzie Borden House. It's a bed and breakfast now, but
it's not just a bed and breakfast.
It's famous for a gruesome crime at the turn of the century, last century, or the century before. Which one is that?
A while ago.
There you go. A while ago. A gruesome crime, and now it's a bed and breakfast. So you get a little murder with your pancake.
A little murder, a little history.
There you go, man. Everything. But that's kind of the month. That is the month that we've had. We've had lots of fun visiting some haunted places, some allegedly haunted places, some with just dark histories. Mm-hmm. And so far, I'm going to just go down the list real quick.
Yeah.
We've hit places like the Queen Mary, which is a ship off of Long Beach, California. It's ported right there. We've also been to and talked to the Welty House in Gettysburg. We haven't been there. We talked to the people at the Welty House in Gettysburg. We've been to Salem, Massachusetts, the witch trials. And of course, now we're dealing with Lizzie Borden. But in the past, I've been to places like the Minger Hotel in San Antonio, Texas. Mm-hmm. Very haunted place. The Emily Morgan, which is not too far away from the Minger in San Antonio. Another very haunted place.
What's going on in San Antonio?
The Alamo. Leads me to my next point, the Alamo. Remember the Alamo?
Yes, I do.
You should, because it's a very haunted place as well. San Antonio in general, if you just step inside San Antonio, it's a haunted place. So we've been talking about the fascination and the rise of dark tourism or haunted tourism. People have different names for it. It's nothing new. It's been around, well, since humans have been around.
Right.
People have been fascinated with death and crime and just kind of been drawn to it for many, many years.
Yeah, and because of that, it is a huge part of tourism. Mm-hmm. We went to several places that their entire tourism industry is kind of based on this dark history or the hauntedness of a place. And saying that, there's so many more places we didn't get to go that we wanted to that fall into this category. But I think everybody has a place that they have heard of that's haunted or has this really tragic past that they want to go see. And why they want to go see it, it's this weird fascination, but it causes tourism to these morbid places, which is exactly what we're talking about for Halloween.
And Halloween is just one of those. I think, Christmas obviously is in more places. I think it kind of spread the joy of, Christmas and Santa Claus and all of that. A lot of people, countries, different walks of life celebrate that. Halloween is a little bit different. Different cultures celebrate in different ways. Not always in October like they do here in the United States, but in different corners of the world, you just kind of, you get these different stories, but we've always, as humans, been fascinated.
Right.
There's always been links between us and believing that death or, whatever can lead us to that spiritual plane or act as a guide to that. Right. And so I think it's just that natural curiosity because no one knows for sure.
Right. And I do think in the U.S. we tend to think about it more leading up to Halloween. And I don't know what it is with the U.S.'s fascination with Halloween. We've heard from people who live in Europe how they've always wanted to come to the U.S. for this Halloween experience. And I didn't realize that we do Halloween different than other people do. But saying that, other countries have dark past too. They have these haunted places, and these places are tourism spots. So this is not unique to the US, but for us here, when it comes to Halloween, that's exactly what we think about. Haunted, creepy, morbid, murdery.
You know, and dressing up. The weird thing is, okay, so like we dress up now. The kids dress up, and it's like a very kid-friendly thing now. And that wasn't the case until just a few decades ago, actually. You know, before they had the rubber and synthetic mask and different things like that, people dressed up, but it was pretty dark. And it wasn't really kids getting candy. Remember, candy wasn't readily available like it is now. So it's transformed over time. And it's almost commercialized.
Oh, well, yeah, it is.
You know, like Christmas. It's almost overly commercialized. But we've, you know, what went from, you would think like very religious people, and that's kind of what the U.S. was, you know, a while back. You think they would steer away from it. For a long time they did. And now it's more commercialized. It's kind of watered down. And it's, I mean, you see it out. I mean, even in our own neighborhood.
Yeah.
People come and trick or treat. What we call in the U.S. Trick or treating. They'll come door to door and get candy, or you know, we sit out in the driveway because we don't want to answer the door every 30 seconds. But we get a lot of kids.
We do.
In our neighborhood.
We have one of those neighborhoods that's known throughout the city to have the best Halloween decorations, the best trick or treating neighborhood. We get between 1,500 and 2,000 trick or treaters a year on Halloween. To the point that our neighborhood now has to hire police to run security and clear out the neighborhood at the end of the night.
We're very proud of that.
Yeah.
We like the cops coming in and shooing everybody. No, not really. But like everyone gets involved. Everyone, like most of the houses in our neighborhood.
It's become a community event.
Yeah,
it's not this pagan ritual that Halloween was known for decades ago.
Which is why we are talking murder.
Yes.
In this episode.
We're bringing it back.
We're bringing it back to its roots. Murder houses.
No sweet jack-o'-lanterns here. No.
This one's going to give you nightmares. The deeper you dive into the Lizzie Borden murder case itself, not just a house, which is just nice, like a nice, lovely house.
Yeah.
Now,
it was a nice, lovely house.
It was a nice, lovely house then, and it's kind of the same. But the murders and the facts and the fact that it's unsolved to this day.
Right. I didn't know that. When we went to the house and we took the first tour where they basically walk you through every room of the house and they tell you the story and the actual ins and outs of what is known, what isn't known. At the end of it, the lady asked me if I knew a lot about the Lizzie Borden trial. And I thought I did until I went through this tour. And I realized there's so much that gets glossed over or gets left out of the story. We all know the little nursery rhyme for Lizzie giving her mother 40 whacks.
You know it?
I don't know.
You don't know it off the top of your head?
Do you know it?
I know it.
Why don't you say
okay,
it for
if you've never heard it before, this is one of the reasons I think it became popular, because this rhyme caught on with kids.
Right.
They're children out there.
Let's talk about a double murder, children.
Yeah. Everyone knows that. Everyone gather around. And it's Lizzie Borden. I was looking at you, and you're just like horrified that I'm saying this.
I am a little bit.
Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41.
Which is inaccurate.
It's kind of inaccurate. Yes.
And that's not all of it. There are other verses to this, which we did hear.
I'd never heard the second verse.
I'd never heard the second verse before either. But I do think that nursery rhyme is part of why the Lizzie Borden, I won't say murder.
You get to the kids.
We don't know that she did it, but I do think that's why this story is so well known.
And, it's remembered. Because people remember from their childhood.
Right?
Right? You remember things from your childhood, or trauma, or whatever that was. That's what we do, right?
Mother Goose memorialized this murder for all of us.
Oh my gosh, did she ever? Stick right here. Unscaled Travel Show, Dark Tourism. We'll have more when we come right back.
travelers, it's Amy with the Full Metal Traveler, and you're listening to the Unscaled Travel Show. For all of our past episodes and guest interviews, you can find us at fullmetaltraveler.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Unscaled Travel Show. It's Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler, for all of our past interviews and episodes. Interviews and episodes. You can go visit us on Okay, what is my website? fullmetaltraveler.com. I forgot. I didn't. All this murder talk has gotten me displaced in my mind here. Displaced, yes.
Is your mind haunted?
By Lizzie Borden. Yes, it might be. We spent some time in the house recently, in the Lizzie Borden double murder house in Fall River, Massachusetts. I'm going to set the scene for us real quick. For a lot of people who, there are people who don't know about the Lizzie Borden house. There are people maybe outside of the United States that don't know anything about it. But Lizzie Borden is one of those stories you hear about because of the sensationalism. Mm-hmm. It happened August 4th, 1892. Now, this is over 130 years ago, and it's still one of these cases. Why is it one of these cases that stands out? One, because of the grisly facts that surround it. Double murder, patricide, a mother and father killed, right? Alleged patricide. The second one is it's unsolved. We still have no idea who did it. You know, there are some obvious choices.
Right.
But, people were acquitted.
I didn't realize it was unsolved. I thought everyone knew she did it and she got off. That was something I learned while we were there, is that's not necessarily the case.
So we set the scene real quick for those of you who may not know. Okay. It's August 4th, 1892. We're in Fall River, Massachusetts. Massachusetts is not a huge place. Fall River is not a big city, but it is one of the big textile cities on the East Coast at the time. Lizzie Borden's father, Andrew Borden, is a successful businessman, even though he's not very well liked. She has a stepmother. Now, this is very important. She has a stepmother named Abby Borden. She does not like her stepmother. She loves her real mother and all of that. And her, Lizzie, and her older sister, Emma, they have gotten around to calling their stepmother Mrs. Borden. They do not even call her mother or even Abby. They call her Mrs. Borden.
Which at this point, she'd been their stepmother for
years. Since they were little girls.
Yeah, like 20 years. Because they are adults at this time, still living at home.
And we're going to gloss over facts here. We're going to gloss over a lot of things. Lizzie and her sister are very spoiled. They're spinsters, considered spinsters at the time. They're both in their 20s. I think
one's in their 20s, one's in their 30s.
Emma's in her early 30s. They're considered spinsters because neither one of them are married, and they live at home with their father and stepmother. On August 4th, 1892, when Andrew Borden is downstairs, he lays down for a quick nap on a couch and gets axe murdered in the head, okay? A number of times, like something like 20 times, something like that. Little did he know before he died that up to an hour and a half before his wife was murdered, and she was laying upstairs, and he didn't know it, but she was also axe murdered in the face, in the back of the head, actually, with a hatchet, and she was laying dead on the floor. Now, for trigger warnings, sorry. You didn't get one. I should have said that before. I should have said that beforehand.
Well, if the nursery rhyme didn't scare you off.
I gave you the nursery rhyme. Come on, man. You had to know if we were talking murder.
So just to be clear, this man comes home in the middle of the day and lays down to take a nap on the couch and gets hit in the head with an axe around 20 times. A hatchet. I'm sorry, a hatchet, not an axe. His wife is already dead upstairs. Yeah. She's already been attacked by a murderer, the same murderer, we don't know.
Yeah.
But attacked with the hatchet also and hit approximately 17 times in the head. Go. And she's dead upstairs. He comes home, takes a nap. He's killed. And this is where the story picks up. This is
where we are. And so naturally, now there are a lot of cases. I mean, there are a lot of facts. Like, we can't go into them now. We just don't have enough time. And we're not a true crime show, even though here we go, it sounded like one. But the prime suspects in this are Lizzie and her sister,
But her sister is out of town.
Well, yes.
At the time.
Her sister is out of town at the time. But looking at it now, from what we know, Lizzie and her sister and their uncle, whose name is John, Uncle John, okay? And there's a maid who's also outside washing windows. So all of these people are kind of suspects. No one saw anything. No one heard anything. Even though back then in 1892, if you look at pictures, the houses are almost on top of each other.
Right.
No one heard anything in the house. No one saw anything outside of the house. So, and kind of the investigation was bungled. I mean, it was 1892. Police, all they had to go on back then was like, if you were dumb enough to stick around after you murdered somebody, that was the only way you got caught, really. They didn't use fingerprints, or it was in the early stages of fingerprints. I mean, the CSI stuff that people watch on TV does not exist at this time.
Right.
You know, there's no blood spatter experts or anything else like that. They're just like, who was it? Oh, were you standing here? Well, it can't be you. So that's how police worked back then. A lot like they work now. So that's the scene. That's the kind of the grisly, glossed over look. And so when you go there, if you go to Fall River, the house is pretty much like it was. They have done a painstakingly tough job of recreating the house and keeping it sort of the way it was, with a lot of the old period piece furniture. The only thing they've done is they've updated it with like running water, because it is a bed and breakfast. They do have bathrooms now, which didn't really, the house didn't have that. Back then they used chamber pots and things up until 1892 in that house.
Yeah, they do have a functioning kitchen with a current stove and oven in it, but they do have a stove from that time period there that they did used to actually use in this house. So they have gone to great lengths to recreate the house exactly as it was at the time, even going as far as finding an exact replica of the couch where Mr. Borden was murdered.
Now, they offer a bed and breakfast stay. You can rent any of the rooms. Lizzie's room, Emma's room, the parents' room, okay, which none of the murders took place in any of those, okay? The one murder took place downstairs in the living room, which you cannot rent. I mean, it's a living room. It's downstairs on the first floor. There is Uncle John's room. Uncle John's room is where the stepmother, Abby, was killed.
Right.
You can rent this room. You can stay in this room. And in fact, you'll hear in an interview a little bit later on with Ryk McIntyre with the Lizzie Borden House, that one gentleman even decided to put a mat and a pillow down on the floor where they found her body to sleep in her essence. Ugh. Hey, whatever. You know, whatever. Whatever. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to say. So beyond the bed and breakfast part, you can also take a tour of the house. You can take a ghost tour of the house and surrounding areas. Like they walk you around the city and tell you some ghost stories about some things that happen. Textile city, lots of fires, lots of lives lost over time. And then there is the ghost tour.
The ghost hunt.
The ghost hunt.
Yes.
Sorry.
The ghost hunt in the Lizzie Borden house, in the basement and the first floor where the living room is, which we got to do.
We're going to tell you our experience on this ghost hunt. Okay, we're going to do that in a few minutes. But when we come up next, we're going to have Ryk McIntyre from the Lizzie Borden House. He's going to tell us more. Keep it right here. Unscaled Travel Show.
Hey travelers, it's Amy with the Full Metal Traveler, and you're listening to the Unscaled Travel Show. For all of our past episodes and guest interviews, you can find us at fullmetaltraveler.com.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Unscaled Travel Show. It's Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler, and I'm here at one of the more popular haunted, allegedly, locations in New England. And it's one you learn about from the time you're little, and you just kind of grow up imagining until you get the chance to actually stop by and check it out. It's the Lizzie Borden House. Now it's a bed and breakfast. With me today is Ryk McIntyre of the Lizzie Borden House. Ryk, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well.
Oh.
I'm doing well.
For those who may not know it, it's hard to believe there are people out there that may not know anything about the Lizzie Borden House or the murder trial or everything. Give us a brief, because I know there's so many details.
Sure.
Give us a brief overview of why this place is famous.
Well, it's the site of a double murder in 1892, which is notable because the lead suspect ends up being the petite young daughter of the man who is murdered and the stepdaughter of the woman who is murdered. And in Victorian times, that is incredible news, not just because they believed Lizzie or any woman like that would be incapable of such a horrific, violent murder, but also it's a very notable, wealthy family, if not a particularly popular one. What makes the story so entrancing to people is that it's, I guess, what you would call a locked room or locked house murder mystery. It's believed Lizzie was the only one inside of the house at the time of each murder with each parent, but there is no physical evidence that was ever found that linked her to the murders. And ultimately, she is found not guilty, and there are, to this day, new theories and new developments that point this way or that way, but in the end, we don't know. And there are so many interesting, strange, and outright bizarre or outrageous details to this story that are just get people's attention.
Now, this was one of the, I guess one of the first trials of the century. It was just this huge criminal, it might have kicked off true crime love for a lot of people out there. Over 100 years later, people are still fascinated. They're still drawn to this, not only the case, but the location and everything else. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it happens around the time of the use of the teletype machine. So news travels much quicker and it becomes national news very quickly, as well as even front page news over in London, England. And this was a few years after the unsolved Jack the Ripper murders. So, they might have been happy for a little American horror distraction. There's just so many compelling details and things that you approach the story thinking one thing, and then you hear a detail and all of a sudden, it undermines everything you thought you knew. I got involved in the house being hired to play the uncle during a reenactment they filmed during the COVID period. And as soon as I saw the alibi he gives to the police that morning, I was very interested because it's an alibi that seems so well constructed and full of so many details. It really pushes credulity that any of us would just remember that coming back to a house where, your brother-in-law and his wife have just been brutally murdered.
Yeah, there are a lot of details that just, one, like you said, and I think this is a part of the story that you get a lot of glossed over versions.
Sure.
You get the trumped up, you get the Hollywood, you get the scandal, but there are a lot of details that both are missing and some that are so exact that really kind of make this story twist and turn for something that is, I don't want to say as simple as a double murder, but it really kind of points the light on so many different suspects.
Sure. And then there's the haunted aspect of the house where we're still doing some research trying to get a hold of families who lived here between when the sisters sold the house in the early 20th century to when it became a museum in 1996. Like many old buildings, it seems the renovations they were doing to return it to how it looked in the 1890s seem to be what stirs whatever's in the house.
I like that description.
Yeah.
Whatever's in the house.
Well,
we had something earlier.
Yeah.
I stepped into a room and a light came on.
It depends on the person. We have tour guides here who are convinced it's a historical story and true crime, and they've never experienced things. There are other people who stopped working here because they just experienced too many things, or that one thing in the basement that just, they were like, no, nope.
Now, there nearby relatively are like is Salem, famous
Yep.
for the witch trials in 1692. Of course, Lizzie Borden House, and various different things here in this part of the country that people absolutely love. They crave. You go to Salem in October and it's packed full of people.
Yep.
Why do you think? Just your opinion here. Why do you think people are drawn to that kind of like dark tourism or maybe haunted tourism? That's kind of we're seeing it rise.
We're all fascinated with death. We've always been.
Yeah.
In olden days, public executions were the big entertainment, and we all wonder what's on the other side. And we have some people who are full of faith and will tell us absolutely this is on the other side, but none of them have died yet. There's a famous story, Harry Houdini, who wanted this all to be provable, and went to many mediums who he would debunk as being frauds, told his wife after his death that she should continue going to these mediums and having them raise his spirit, and he gave her a code word that only she knew, so that she would know that it was him. Supposedly she goes to a number of mediums following his death and never hears that word. So
sometimes, we want to believe.
We do.
Sometimes there's a little proof. Oftentimes you got to use reason. But it still, I think, ignites our imagination about what might be out there waiting for us. It might be a hatchet to the head. We don't know. We don't know what's happening. Okay.
This is at the perfect intersection of supernatural and true crime. So we get people who are there for, both purposes. We also have people who really get into the house. We had a young gentleman rent the room that Abby was killed in, and we thought he had left during the day because his bed was not slept in the morning, and on a little closer examination we noted that he had laid a pad and a sleeping bag down where Abby's body would have been, and that's where he spent the night. I helped another couple, I helped a guy propose to his future wife in that room, because they were a spooky little couple, and that was their dream. You know
what? The people at the Lizzie Borden House making dreams come true since 1892. That's a great slogan.
Nice.
I want a nickel every time you guys sell a t-shirt with it. Finally, the question, of course, that everyone asks when they come here, did Lizzie Borden do this?
I think this is, again, my personal feeling, and my theory is just as circumstantial and built on assumptions as anyone else's. I personally think Lizzie knew who did it, but ends up keeping quiet. I think if you read through the story, there's a number of people acting in collusion after the murders in a way that very conveniently many people's alibi supports someone else's alibi. And, there was a lot of other suspects that were vetted by police, but for a number of reasons, Lizzie becomes the main suspect. And again, we may never know.
Ryk, thank you so much for your time.
You're
I do appreciate it. Stick right here, Unskilled Travel Show. You're going to have more.
Hey travelers, it's Amy with the Full Metal Traveler, and you're listening to the Unskilled Travel Show. For all of our past episodes and guest interviews, you can find us at fullmetaltraveler.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unskilled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. As always, check us out, fullmetaltraveler.com, for all of our past episodes and our guest interviews. And we have a lot of them, and they're all very, very good. Different subjects, different things. But right now we're talking about the Lizzie Borden Murder House. Thank you so much to Ryk McIntyre and the team at Lizzie Borden for hosting us. U.S. Ghost Adventures, thank you so much to Lance Zoll for having us out and letting us kind of agitate your ghosts. Now, before we went to the interview, we told you the Lizzie Borden house is now a bed and breakfast, and it offers you a chance to stay in this murder house, which they stay booked all year long.
Right.
Did you hear them talk about how booked up they stay?
Yeah.
Especially in October,
Right.
especially around Halloween. They stay booked
We
up.
tried. They just did not have an opening for us to stay there.
Thank you. Thank you for not having an opening.
After what happened in our ghost hunt, Mr. Jeremy was very excited to get out of there.
They offer a house tour. Excuse me. I got choked up there on my own spit. They offer a house tour. They offer a ghost walk around the city. They also offer a ghost hunt, which we kind of mentioned. We did all three.
Yes.
The ghost hunt was the most revealing. What were your initial thoughts? There's video of me in the house on my TikTok. You can go at Full Metal Traveler. Check out my TikTok, and I'm talking to the ghost, and even sitting on it's a replica couch. It's not the same couch, but it's the same style couch in the exact area where the father, Andrew Borden, was murdered. Mm-hmm. And we had some interesting interactions.
We did. And what I found most interesting was that Ryk, who was our guide for the ghost hunt, said that they do this ghost hunt several times a week. And it was a long time since he had seen this much activity. At first, I thought he was just pulling our leg, making us feel better about it. But as the time went on, we kept having more and more activity. And I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical, but at the same time, I had the bejesus scared out of me at that house.
You did. There was a moment. I'm standing in the living room. You're off in the front room. The front room of this house is where the police sat down Lizzie Borden and first told her that she was the primary suspect in this double murder. Okay. I'm at a lamp, the same lamp that faces Andrew Borden when he gets murdered. Not the same lamp, probably a different lamp. I'm in the same room. At same time, you're in that room, I'm in this one, we're talking to each other. I start yelling at you, Amy, come look at this lamp, because the power starts fluctuating wildly on this lamp. What did you see? Because I wasn't in the room with you, but you came running and screaming.
I did.
And when I say screaming, it is 11 o'clock, almost midnight. Everyone in the house is up. And they're all downstairs. We are the only people upstairs.
There's roughly a dozen people in the house, and everyone
10
else,
of them are downstairs.
Yes, in the basement.
Yeah.
And you and I are the only ones on the first floor.
What did you see in this room?
So the room is entirely dark. Entirely dark. There are no lights on in the front room that I'm in. The room that you are in is behind me, and that lamp is on. So it casts a little bit of light into the very front of the room. But I just start walking around the room, around the coffee table that's right in the middle, and I get towards the lamp in the front corner of this room. And I'm holding out the EMF detector that they give us, looking to see if it's going to do anything. And all of a sudden, the lamp in the front room makes this sound like, I don't know. I can't. It's almost like energy.
Yeah.
And it lights up real fast and then goes dark. It all happens within 1 second.
Yeah.
But when it happened, chills went over my entire body. And I am not embarrassed to say that I turned around and ran out of there and screamed your name because I thought something was coming out of hell to drag me down.
This is at the exact, and when I tell you this, I am not making this is the exact same time that the lamp in my room started fluctuating. Now, what you may instantly think is that, it's a power surge of some kind. It is an old house. These two lights are on different circuits in the house. They are in completely different rooms on two completely different power circuits as it's all working out. Because that was one of the first things we asked.
Right. So Ryk told us that the lamp in the living room where you were is known to power on and power off, which it actually did.
It did several times.
Several times while we were there.
The rest of the night with other people present.
Right.
With the rest of that group present. It was something fascinating.
But
now,
they said
go ahead.
the lamp in the front room has never been known to do that.
Yeah. And only you saw that.
And only I saw it. So I bravely went back in there. A few minutes later, I did not go by myself. I think you were with me. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. I went back to the same spot. no light power surges, nothing
Yep.
on the EMF, nothing.
Nothing.
But later in the night, you and I and another guest went into that room, and all three of our EMFs lit up in the same exact spot and
Same
stayed lit
exact
up.
spot. Yeah.
We all left, came back in, nothing again. Freaky.
There was some activity. Now, we are not necessarily believers. Okay. I'm a realist. There's got to be, I mean, I know power and electric fields coming from power sources can mess up EMF detectors and things of that. But even given all of that, some things that went on that we can't even talk about,
Right.
it really made me question a lot of things. What it made me do is want to tell people, like, if you like ghosts, if you like true crime, if you like history, anything like that, this is a wonderful place to visit.
You need to go check it
You
out.
need to go check this out.
It's-
Fall River, Massachusetts.
As you said, it's kind of the culmination of true crime and haunted tourism all coming together
Mm-hmm.
in one place. And even if you just like history, this one
It's
house has all of it. And
Yeah.
it really is fascinating. And other things happen that we're not going to talk about because it's just a little bit unnerving. But we did have a few other experiences with a spirit box saying some
spirit
things that seemed very targeted towards you.
Yeah.
That to the point that the other people there were commenting that it seemed like the spirit was talking to you.
And a great mix of people too. We were not all people from the same walks of life. Earlier in the night, there was a all-girl birthday party. And there was like what, 7 or 8 grown women,
Yep.
probably in their 30s. You know, all coming to check out the house. There was me and you. There was another couple. They were the only couple staying in the house that night.
Right.
And it was their anniversary.
Yeah.
There was another couple. They were younger.
With their mom.
With
One
their
of their
mom.
moms. Yeah.
One of their moms, they were checking it out. Another guy who he moved to the area recently and was working at the local hospital, and he wanted to check this out, man. So he was by himself. That's a
Yep.
brave dude.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't as you might imagine. Earlier in the night, there were two girls who may lean more gothic or something like that, but they were as nice as could be. And it was just like this nice little mix of people in this nice area. So the day after we get back from our trip to Lizzie Borden, U.S. Ghost Adventures sends out a press release. They send it to me. They have just acquired the Villisca Axe Murder House. I know. I'm just giving you a pause. Villisca Axe Murder House in Iowa. Villisca, Iowa, where this took place in the early 1900s.
Right.
Another horrible, gruesome crime, this time involving, I think, like 6 kids were
Right.
axe murdered.
6 kids and
and
2
a
adults.
couple of adults were murdered.
But-
and they've turned this into a house.
But the reason this is so interesting is because of this house's connection to the Lizzie Borden case.
These murders happened a few years after the Lizzie Borden. That was 1892. This is like I think 1910, 11, 12, something around there. But Uncle John, the suspect, one of the suspects in the Lizzie Borden double murder, had moved to that area and lived there. And police sought him out to question him, only to find out that he had died just a few months before the murders took place in Villisca.
But what
Iowa.
I want to know is why did they seek him out to question him?
Why? But there is a loose connection to both of these things. It
Yeah.
is fascinating. Fascinating stuff.
If you like true crime,
If you like true crime. Man, so check out U.S. Ghost Adventures. This has no affiliation with the Ghost Adventures TV show, okay? This is a totally different company, U.S. Ghost Adventures. They own the Lizzie Borden House, the Welty House in Gettysburg, which is also really fun to talk about and check out, and now the Villisca Axe Murder House. They own it all, and they operate tours across the United States. This is so much fun to just...
this has been a fun month. I've really,
has been
I know
great.
it's strange, but I've really enjoyed going to all these haunted places with you.
Oh, man. We have a lot of fun. We hope you've had fun, too. Check out our past episodes on dark tourism, okay? FullMetalTraveler.com. This is Unscaled Travel Show. We will see you guys next time.